now that we have gotten into our workspace and we have edited the workspace and added goals and standards, add resources, add evidence, add rubrics and evaluations, to add each one of these things is as simple as clicking a button. Now I'm going to walk through the steps that are in the Do section for this part of the Learn and Earn. So I'm actually going to use the Learn and Earn right here, and it says click on the Goals and Standards button and title it Objectives, and then copy and paste these objectives. So I'm going to actually go ahead and just copy these objectives right here and go to the workspace, add the Goals and Standards. It's going to bring up a card. I need to call it Objectives. And then I'm going to paste. I may take a little bit of the spacing out. I may change this a little bit. You might want to do the same thing. Just kind of figure out how to make this look a little nicer for you. Once I have got all my objectives in here, I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And now I've got an objectives card. So, and it says save that card. And I'm going to add another goal and standard, and this time I'm just going to put it SOL. I think you can do this on your own. Find an SOL that might work for here. Remember, we're building this is just a fake workspace. It doesn't have to be anything huge. So we've got our goals and standards. So this time we want to add a rubric. So I'm going to go over to my rubrics and evaluations. I'm going to click Add a Rubric. And this time I'm going to put rubric in. And then I've got some directions that I want the students to have. It says, please refer back to this. So I'm going to copy these directions right here and paste them in. And then I need to attach something. So I can either attach from my Google Drive or I can attach a link. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive. And I'm going to search for the word rubric. I hit enter. And for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to choose any of these rubrics. I'm going to click Save. And now I've got a rubric in. A good thing to know, the student view looks very similar to this teacher view. And if you do not put a card in a column, so if I don't put a resource card in, or if I don't put an evidence card in, the students will not see that column. So right now, if a student were to go to this board, they would only see the goals and standards column and the rubrics and evaluations column. If you don't put something in the column does not show up for students. So very quickly, to add a card to any of these columns, you just click the top button. A few other things to note about adding things to a workspace. Anytime that you add any card, the card has to have a title. As soon as you try to click anything else, if you have not given the card a title, you cannot do anything else. So a card must have a title in order to be added. You can rearrange cards within a column. So I can change the order of cards within a column, but I cannot drag a card from one column to another. It just doesn't work. So if you want to add something in the resource column, you can't add it in the goals and standards and then drag it over. You have to add it in the resource column or the evidence column. To delete a card or to do some of the other, to edit a card, these three dots right here, usually when you see those three dots, that just means that there's more options. I'm going to click those more options. I can choose to edit the card or I can choose to delete the card. Anytime you choose to delete the card, it's always going to ask you, are you sure? I'm going to click yes, and then the card goes away.